My parents charged me $2,000 a month to live under their roof while my sister paid nothing. Then they raised the rent to $3,000, so I decided I'd had enough. A year later I bought their house and came to see them move out. So, I'm Angela. I'm 23. Let me give you the backstory first so you understand what kind of family I'm dealing with. My parents are Robert and Linda, both in their 50s. Dad worked at a hardware store. Mom was a receptionist at a dental office. Nothing fancy, but they owned their house and always acted like they were better off than they really were. Then there's my older sister, Jessica. She's 3 years older than me. Growing up, Jessica was the princess. She'd quit jobs left and right because the vibe wasn't right or if the manager was mean. Meanwhile, I worked my butt off through college. I graduated with a degree in interior design 7 months before this story really kicks off, but lucky and landed a job at a decent design firm downtown pretty quick. That's where I met Marcus, this guy with big dreams and bigger ambitions. We became friends fast, bonding over coffee and crazy client stories. But here's what my family didn't know. I'd been hustling since sophomore year of college. I did freelance design work on the side, creating floor plans and 3D renders for people renovating their homes. We saved every penny. By the time I graduated, I had $30,000 tucked away. Never told my parents because I knew they'd find some emergency that required my money. 5 months into my job, Marcus started talking about this idea he had. House flipping was getting huge, he said. Buy cheap, fix it up, sell high. He'd found this abandoned place. The owner died alone. Relatives just wanted it gone. $50,000 total. We could split it. I had the design skills. He had construction experience from working with his uncle. I thought about it for like 2 days, then said yes. We bought that house together. Spent every evening and weekend working on it. 2 months into our renovation project, that's when the dinner happened. It was a Thursday night. Mom made her meatloaf, which meant she had something important to say because she only made meatloaf for serious family discussions. Angela, we need to talk. Dad started, once everyone was seated. About what? You've been working for over 6 months now. You have a stable salary, Mom said, cutting her meatloaf very precisely. Yeah, Jessica smirked from across the table. She knew what was coming. We think it's time you started contributing to the household, Dad said. Contributing how? Rent, $2,000 a month, Mom said, like she was telling me the weather. I nearly choked on my water. $2,000 for my childhood bedroom, room and board, utilities, everything included, Dad added. What about Jessica? She lives here too. Jessica rolled her eyes. I'm between jobs right now. You're always between jobs. Mom's face got that pinched look. Jessica's situation is different. She's having a rough time. You have a steady income, and if she doesn't pay on time, there's a $50 daily late fee, Jessica added, with this nasty little smile. Are you serious right now, Angela? We supported you for 23 years, fed you, clothed you, put you through school, Mom said. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell them about the house Marcus and I were flipping, about my savings, about how insane they were being, but I didn't. I needed a place to stay while we finished that flip, and finding an apartment would eat into my investment money. Fine, I said. Good. First payment is due on the 1st, Mom said, going back to her meatloaf like we just discussed the weather. I went to my room and lay on my bed, staring at the ceiling. $2,000 a month. That was most of my salary from the design firm, but I did the math in my head. If Marcus and I could flip this house in 4 more months, we'd make good money. I could handle this. The next few months were cruel. I'd work my regular job, then head straight to the flip house. Marcus and I did everything we could ourselves. Painting, tiling, basic plumbing. We only hired professionals for electrical and major plumbing work. Weekends disappeared into demolition and drywall. My parents never asked where I went after work. As long as that $2,000 showed up in their account on the 1st, they didn't care. Jessica would make snide comments about me looking tired, saying things like, working hard for mommy and daddy's money. I just ignored her. 6 months after we bought it, Marcus and I sold that house for $250,000. Marcus was bouncing off the walls. We did it. We actually did it. Want to do it again? I asked. Already have my eye on something. A Victorian mansion needs everything, but the bones are good. $200,000. So, we bought the Victorian. This one was a monster. 3 stories, 6 bedrooms, original hardwood floors that needed complete refinishing. We knew it would take longer, maybe 8 months. I kept paying my parents, kept working at the firm, kept my mouth shut about what I was really doing. My co-workers at the design firm thought I was crazy when I'd show up with pain in my hair or bruises from hauling materials. My boss even pulled me aside once. Angela, is everything okay? You seem exhausted lately. Just working on a personal project. I told her, don't burn yourself out. If only she knew. The Victorian was our masterpiece. We restored the original crown molding, installed a chef's kitchen, and turned the attic into a master's suite with a view of the city. 8 months later, we sold it for $800,000. We need to quit our jobs and do this full time, Marcus said as we signed the papers. I already typed up my resignation. I said, We opened our company the next week. AR House Flips. The A for Angela, R for renovations, because Marcus said his name didn't flow right in a business name. We had enough capital now to buy multiple properties, hire crews, and really scale up. But I didn't tell my parents about any of it. Far as they knew, I was still working at that design firm, still barely scraping by, still their reliable ATM. Every first of the month, $2,000 hit their account. They never asked questions. Our company took off faster than we expected. Turns out, having capital and experience meant we could move quickly on good properties. Within 6 months, we'd flipped 3 more houses. My bank account was looking healthier than ever, but I still lived in that tiny bedroom at my parents' house. Still listened to Jessica complain about her job search over breakfast. A few months ago I bought myself a house, not to flip, to live in. It was a mess, needed everything, but it had good bones and an amazing location. I'd been working on it secretly, starting with the important stuff like plumbing and electrical. The bathroom was done, all white subway tile and brushed gold fixtures. The bedroom, too, with built-in wardrobes I designed myself. I was planning to move out once the whole place was finished, maybe another 6 months. But then came another family dinner. 2 years had passed since they'd started charging me rent. I walked in from work, and there was some guy sitting on our couch, watching TV like he owned the place. "Who's this?" I asked. Jessica bounced in from the kitchen. "This is Tyler, my boyfriend." Tyler looked up at me, gave this lazy wave, then went back to his show. "He's moving in," Mom announced, coming in with a plate of cookies for Tyler. Cookies? She never made me cookies. "That's nice," I said, heading for my room. "Wait," Dad said. "We need to discuss the new arrangement." I stopped. "What new arrangement?" "Well, with another person in the house, utilities will go up. Food costs, too," Mom said. "So, your rent is now $3,000 a month, starting the 1st of next month," Dad said, not even looking up from his newspaper. Jessica giggled. "Tyler, this is Angela. She's our family ATM." Tyler laughed. "Nice. Every family needs one of those." I went to my room and sat on my bed. $3,000. They wanted $3,000 from me while Tyler sat on the couch eating free cookies. That was it. I was done. That night, I started planning. I couldn't just walk out. I needed to be strategic. I began by slowly packing things they wouldn't notice. Winter clothes and summer books I'd already read, extra shoes. I bought boxes and hid them in my closet, filling them bit by bit. The hardest part was waiting for the right day. Jessica worked part-time at a boutique, but her schedule was erratic. Tyler was always home, planted on that couch like a fungus. Mom worked mornings, Dad worked afternoons. I needed them all gone at once. I started paying attention to their routines. Tuesday mornings, Mom left at 7, Dad left at noon. Jessica had inventory at the boutique every other Tuesday and had to be there by 10 o'clock. Tyler went to his buddy's house to play video games on Tuesdays because that's when his friend was off work. The next Tuesday was my chance. I told my parents I was feeling off and would probably sleep in. That morning, I lay in bed listening. Mom left at 7. I heard Jessica complaining to Tyler about having to do inventory. At 9:30, she dragged him out, saying she'd dropped him at his friend's place. At noon, Dad knocked on my door. "I'm heading to work." I waited until 12:30 to be sure. Then I moved fast, grabbed the boxes from my closet, threw in everything else I owned. My laptop chargers, the jewelry box my grandmother left me, photo albums, important documents I'd hidden in my desk drawer. My whole life fits in 6 boxes and 2 suitcases. I made 3 trips to my car, heart pounding every time I walked outside. Mrs. Peterson from next door was gardening, but she just waved. Probably thought I was taking stuff to donate. Back in my room, I looked around. 23 years in this space, and I could pack it all in under an hour. I wrote the note on a piece of Mom's fancy stationery, the stuff she used for thank you cards. "I've moved out, won't be paying rent anymore. The internet and utilities in my name will be disconnected in 24 hours. Angela." I left it on the kitchen table, right where Dad would see it when he got home. Then I grabbed my last bag, walked out, and locked the door behind me with a key I'd never use again. I was unpacking boxes in my new bedroom when my phone started ringing. 4:30. Dad must have found the note. I let it go to voicemail. Then Mom called. Then Jessica. I turned the ringer off and kept unpacking. By 6, I had 43 missed calls. I finally listened to one voicemail. Angela Marie Thompson. Mom's voice was shrill. "You get back here right now. This is not how a family behaves. We need that money. The mortgage is due. You can't just abandon us." Dad's message was calmer, but still angry. "Angela, this is unacceptable. You're acting like a child. Come home, and we'll discuss this like adults." Jessica's was the shortest. "You selfish brat. How could you do this to us?" I didn't respond to any of them. I blocked their numbers and ordered pizza to my new address. First meal in my own home. The next morning, the extended family call started. Aunt Marie was first. "Angela honey, your mother called me crying. She says you ran away. They charged me $3,000 for my bedroom while my sister's unemployed boyfriend lives there for free. I'm sure there's been a misunderstanding. I hung up. Cousin Rita. Hey, your mom says you're having some kind of crisis. No crisis. They raised my rent to $3,000 a month. I left. $3,000. That's insane. Yet it is. Finally, someone who got it. But most of them just parroted my parents' version. Ungrateful daughters abandoned struggling parents. I stopped answering calls from anyone who started with your parents. By evening, I blocked 17 relatives. My phone was finally quiet. I sat in my new living room still full of boxes and renovation supplies and felt free for the first time in 2 years. No more family ATM jokes. No more watching Tyler eat food I paid for. No more $3,000 rent for a room I'd outgrown years ago. 6 months passed without any contact. I focused on my business and finishing my house. The kitchen came together beautifully. Custom white cabinets, black granite counters, a massive island perfect for entertaining. Not that I had anyone to entertain, but still. Marcus and I had 3 properties going at once. The company account was healthy. We'd hired 2 full-time employees. And I'd finally stopped looking over my shoulder every time I went to the hardware store, afraid I'd run into my parents. Then Aunt Marie called again. I almost didn't answer, but she'd been decent to me as a kid. Angela, I'm not calling to lecture you. Your parents are in serious financial trouble, like losing the house trouble. They both work. Jessica lives there. Tyler lives there. For adults, can't figure out a mortgage. Jessica keeps quitting jobs. She's had 5 in the last 6 months. Tyler doesn't work at all. Your parents. They asked me for a loan yesterday. $20,000. Did you give it to them? I don't have $20,000 lying around. But Angela, they're going to lose the house. Then they lose the house. They should have thought about that before raising my rent to $3,000. Marie sighed. I understand. I just thought you should know. A few weeks later, Derek, Marcus's realtor friend, sent over his monthly list of upcoming foreclosures and bank sales. I was reviewing it over coffee when I nearly spit it out. There it was, my parents' address. I called Derek, that colonial on Maple Street. How much the bank will probably take it. $150, maybe $140. They just want out. Why, you interested? Maybe. Can we move fast on it with cash? Absolutely. Banks love cash offers. I thought about it for exactly 30 seconds. Do it, buy it, through the company. The sale closed in 3 weeks. I own my childhood home. The bank sent them an eviction notice, giving them 30 days to vacate. I waited until day 29 to show up. They were loading a rental truck when I pulled up. Mom saw me first. She looked older, tired, defeated. Come to watch us lose everything, she asked bitterly. Dad came out, carrying a box. He wouldn't even look at me. Jessica appeared in the doorway with Tyler. Oh, perfect. Angela's here to gloat. Happy now. We're homeless because of you. You're not homeless because of me, I said calmly. You're homeless because you couldn't pay your mortgage. We couldn't pay because you left. Mom screamed. That money was budgeted. Then you shouldn't have raised it to $3,000. I would have kept paying too. Angela, Dad finally spoke. What do you want? To see us broken? No, I bought it from the bank. I own this house now. Mom started crying. Oh, thank God, Angela. I knew you'd come through. I knew you still loved us. Hold on, I said, as Jessica started carrying boxes back inside. I said I bought it. Not that you can live here free. If you want to stay, you pay rent. $2,000 a month. Just like you charged me. Plus all utilities. Angela, that's cruel, Mom wailed. It's exactly what you did to me. But we're your parents. And I was your daughter. Didn't stop you from treating me like an ATM. Angela, please, Dad said quietly. Be reasonable. I am being reasonable. $2,000 is below market rate for a 4-bedroom house. You can take it or leave it. We don't have the first and last month's rent. Mom admitted. I'll waive the deposit. Just the first month. But you signed a lease. A lease, we're family. Know your tenants. The lease includes late fees of $50 per day. Just like you threatened me with. Miss 3 months, and you're evicted. This is revenge. Jessica spat. No, this is business. You all treated me like a business transaction for years. Now I'm returning the favor. They huddled together, whispering. Finally, Dad stepped forward. We'll take it. I pulled out the lease agreement I'd brought. Sign here and here. Initial here. Mom's hand shook as she signed. I can't believe you're doing this to us. I can't believe you charged your daughter $3,000 for a bedroom. After they all signed, Jessica started moving boxes back in, but she was crying now. Oh, and one more thing. I said, since Tyler lives here, I need him on the lease, too. Why? Tyler asked. Because everyone who lives here needs to be accountable. No more free rides. Tyler looked at Jessica, then at her parents, then back at me. This is messed up. Then leave. He signed a lease. As I was getting in my car, Mom called out. Angela, what about the internet cable? Can you set them up for us? I almost laughed. That's your responsibility now. Welcome to adulthood. The first few months, they paid on time. I knew because I had it set up for direct deposit. No checks, no excuses. The money hit my account, or it didn't. Month 4, they were 3 days late. I sent an official notice about the late fees. Mom called, crying. Angela, please. Jessica's between jobs again. Then Jessica needs to keep a job, or Tyler needs to get one. You owe $150 in late fees. You're really going to charge us fees? You would have charged me. Pay the rent plus fees by tomorrow, or get another notice. They paid. I heard through Aunt Marie that Tyler finally got a job at a warehouse after Mom and Dad threatened to kick him out. Jessica was working at a call center, had been there 2 months, a record for her. They're struggling, Marie told me during one of our rare calls. They're learning, I corrected. They're learning what I knew at 23, that money doesn't grow on trees, and bills don't pay themselves. Don't you feel bad at all? Did they feel bad charging me? Did they feel bad when they raised it to $3,000 while Tyler sat around doing nothing? I guess not. Then, no, I don't feel bad. They're getting exactly what they gave. 6 more months passed, making it a full year since I had become their landlord. The rent came in steadily now, always on time. I guess the fear of homelessness was a good motivator. I found out through Aunt Marie that Tyler had actually left Jessica about 2 months ago. The free ride was over, and apparently, so was his interest in her. He'd moved in with his buddy, the one with the video games, and Jessica had been devastated. But for once, she couldn't quit her job in Mopay. She had bills to pay. My business with Marcus was thriving. We'd expanded beyond single-family homes into small apartment buildings. Our latest project was a 60-unit building we'd bought for $300,000. After renovations, it would be worth close to $1 million. The company now had 8 employees and a proper office downtown. I'd also finished my house completely. Every room was exactly how I wanted it. A modern kitchen with navy cabinets and gold hardware. A living room with built-in shelves I designed myself. A home office where I could work on plans without anyone asking me for money. It was my sanctuary. One Tuesday afternoon, while reviewing blueprints at the office, my phone rang. It was from a number I didn't recognize, but the area code was local. Hello, Angela. This is Mr. Peterson, your old neighbor. I'm calling because I thought you should know. There was an ambulance at your parents' house this morning. My stomach dropped, despite everything. What happened? Your father had chest pains. They took him to the general hospital. Your mother went with him. I just thought someone should tell you. Thank you for letting me know. I sat there for a minute after hanging up. Then I grabbed my keys. At the hospital, I found Mom in the waiting room. She looked up when I walked in, and her face went through about 5 emotions. Surprise, hope, anger, sadness, and finally, exhaustion. He's okay, she said quietly, stress-related, not a heart attack. I sat down 2 chairs away from her. We didn't speak for a while. The doctor says he needs to reduce his stress, she finally said. Maybe work less hours. I didn't respond to that. We sat in silence until Dad was released. He saw me and just nodded. No dramatics, no accusations. He just looked tired. That incident changed something. Not everything, but something. They stopped bad-mouthing me to relatives. I heard from Aunt Marie that when people asked about me, Mom would just say I was doing well with my business and change the subject. 3 months later, I got an unexpected call from Jessica. Can we talk? In person. 20 minutes. We met at a Starbucks downtown. She looked different, more mature maybe, definitely tired. I wanted to apologize, she said, not meeting my eyes, for calling you the family ATM. For everything, really. I waited. I didn't get it before. How hard you worked, how much you were carrying. I get it now. Working 60 hours a week just to make rent and bills. It's ending me. It's life. Jessica, I know that now. I also know Mom and Dad always favored me. I see it now looking back. You paid your way through college while they bought me a car. You worked every summer while they sent me on vacation. Why are you telling me this now? Because I wanted you to know that I see it now. What they did to you. What I let them do. It wasn't fair. I studied her face. She seemed sincere. Thanks for saying that. Also, I got promoted. Team leader at the call center. Comes with a raise. I can help Mom and Dad with rent more now. Good for you. She stood to leave, then paused. The house you bought for yourself. The one you renovated. It's beautiful. I drove by it once. You did an amazing job. After she left, I sat there thinking about how much had changed. 2 years ago, they were bleeding me dry. Now they were my tenants. Jessica was working steadily, and Tyler was gone. It wasn't forgiveness, exactly, but it was something. A few weeks after that coffee, I made a decision. I had Derek draw up paperwork for a rent reduction. Not huge, just down to $1,800 a month instead of $2,000. Still fair market value, but it would help them a little. I mailed it to them with a note, effective next month. No late payments, or this reverts to the original amount. Mom called when she got it. She was crying. Thank you was all she said before hanging up. Marcus and I celebrated our company's 3rd anniversary last week. We'd flipped 37 properties, had 12 employees, and were looking at expanding to the next city over. Now I'm 26, sitting in my beautiful home office, running a successful business, and my family pays me rent. It's been a wild 3 years. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if they'd never charged me that first $2,000. Would I have stayed longer? Would I have shared my success with them? Would we be a normal family? But then, I remember Jessica calling me to the family ATM while Tyler laughed. Mom demanding $3,000 while handing him cookies. Dad not even looking up from his newspaper as they raised my rent. And I know I made the right choice. They're still my tenants. They pay their reduced rent on time every month. Jessica still has her job, even got another promotion. Dad reduced his hours after the hospital scare. Mom started a small garden in the backyard, something she'd always talked about but never had time for. We're not a family anymore, not really. We're landlords and tenants who happen to share DNA. But maybe that's more honest than what we were before. At least now everyone knows where they stand. No more pretending. No more taking advantage. Just business.